Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're here with Celeste today. She hasn't been on camera too much in the last few weeks, so I thought we'd catch up with her, hang out with her a little bit as she wanders around my bed where she's been sleeping a lot lately. She likes my bed. What can you do? Anyway, hi Tequila. Anyway, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the pet rabbit market. And this is because a couple of people have asked me about how to get into breeding rabbits for pets. And I'm going to tell you, don't. Don't do it. Because, first of all, you're going to oversaturate your market. Not even talking about ethics, but if you go get yourself 10 rabbits and start breeding them for pets with no other plan, so you're not breeding show rabbits, you're not breeding meat rabbits, you're not breeding with a specific goal in mind, you're just breeding them to sell them as pets, you're very quickly going to find you don't have anyone to sell them to because you're going to oversaturate your own market. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, I love you too. Oh, just my girl. So you're going to quickly oversaturate your own market. Okay, even if there's no one else doing that, and nobody should be doing that really, breeding just exclusively per pets with no other plan, not a good plan. So even if you're the only one doing that, there's a limit to how many people you're going to be able to sell your random pet rabbits to. Okay, there is a limit because even if you're in a big city and you're having a great time and everyone loves rabbits, there's a limit to the number of people who are going to want a pet rabbit with no other characteristics. So you're not talking about purebreds, you're not talking about bred for a specific trait. Look at those blue eyes. You have such pretty eyes, love. Yes, you do. So you're going to oversaturate your own market. However, there's another problem. The ethics of it comes into play. If you're in an area that has a lot of rabbits in shelters, then what's going to happen is you end up taking away from the rabbits that could potentially be adopted. Because the rabbits in shelters, they tend to be, not purebreds or at least not well-bred. They didn't come from good breeders. They're inexpensive. So people who just want a quick pet can get one at a rescue if you're in an area that has a lot of rabbits and rescues. To be clear, we don't have a lot of rabbits and rescues where we are. It's not super common. Pet rabbits aren't a huge thing here. I mean, people like them, but it's not a huge thing. Okay, it's just not. Most of the breeders in our area are either show or meat breeders, so pet rabbits are not really in rescues here. However, if you're in an area where they are, you end up basically taking away from those rabbits. So my recommendation is don't get into breeding rabbits just to breed pet rabbits and make a quick buck. First of all, that quick buck will dry up really fast. You'd be shocked at how quick that pet market will dry up once you've put 5 or 6 litters out there. All of a sudden, your ability to sell them dips right off. So, not good. Also, if you have a lot of shelter rabbits in your area, people are not going to have difficulty finding a pet rabbit anyway. So, you might be able to make the pet rabbit thing work if you breed in really small numbers and kind of have a goal. However, it shouldn't be your primary focus because the pet rabbit market is unreliable and you might find yourself stuck with a whole bunch of rabbits that you can't rehome. So, instead of getting into the pet rabbit market, pick a different focus. Whether you're breeding for show, whether you're breeding for meat, maybe you're breeding for a specific trait. So I breed show rabbits primarily, and in the last couple years, I have switched my focus over to working with the Vienna mark, the Vienna gene, which gives the rabbits these beautiful blue eyes, like Celeste has here. And her mom not her mom. Her mom doesn't have blue eyes. Her mom is Libra. But my other female, Gemini, has bright blue eyes. So I've kind of switched over to working with that Vienna mark. And so I have a focus. I breed show rabbits and I'm breeding for that blue-eyed white. Because there aren't a lot of blue-eyed white breeders. If I have a couple of blue-eyed whites, enter them in shows, I stand a better chance of winning because it's not common here. So I have a focus. Okay, show rabbits with a focus on the Vienna mark. If you're a meat rabbit breeder, your focus is big and fluffy, because that's what you want in a meat rabbit. You want them to be big and meaty. So if you have a different focus, if you don't have a focus that's strictly pets, then you have, first of all, something that you're breeding towards. You're not just indiscriminately breeding. You're not just being like, okay, I'll just put these two rabbits together. So when I bred Celeste, I deliberately crossed Capricorn to Libra because Capricorn is Vienna marked and Libra is a Vienna carrier. So I knew I had a pretty good chance of getting these beautiful blue eyes out of that cross. It was a plan. I'm not just indiscriminately throwing rabbits in a pen together. I have a plan. So if you have another plan, you will always have rabbits that don't meet that plan. So for example, her brother, Porter, very beautiful rabbit, but didn't meet my goals because he didn't have blue eyes. He's very beautiful and his family loves him and he's going to do wonderful. They're going to show him in the fall. He's going to do wonderful, but he didn't meet with my plans. So if you have a plan, then the rabbits that don't meet with your plan, you can at the very least turn around and sell those rabbits as pets because they'll still be excellent quality. If you already were breeding for quality, the rabbits that you sell because they don't meet the standard you have, which is probably pretty high standard if you have crafted your ideal rabbit and that's what you're breeding towards. So if your rabbits don't meet that standard, so you're selling them as pets, they're still going to be high quality pets. They're still going to be in good health. They're still going to be happy. They're still going to be hand raised and friendly because they just are. Like, she is so friendly because we hand raised them. Porter was super friendly. Okay, the litter that Gemini just had now, at least 3 of them will be rehomed as soon as they're old enough. Actually, maybe only 2 of them. There's a real nice one that is not white that I might keep. You just, I end up with too many bunnies. I love them. Not the point. So if you are at least focused on a specific goal, you can sell the excess rabbits as pets and they're wonderful quality. If you vet your buyers and use word of mouth to sell your rabbits, maybe get yourself a booth at a show or a sale, then you can make sure your rabbits are going to people who care about them. Make sure you kind of can educate buyers so your rabbits don't end up squished into tiny little cages because they shouldn't live in tiny little cages. So it gives you the opportunity to educate, to connect with people, and to find the right homes for your rabbits. At some point, you might even breed a specific litter as pets, which is actually what I just did. What you don't know yet, because I haven't put them on video yet, is yesterday, Libra had her second litter with us. And that litter I bred specifically because everybody loved the bunnies last time, and people really were requesting Libra by Capricorn babies. So I bred that litter specifically to sell because that's what people want. So that's my incubator rocking. Ignore that beeping. That's an incubator rocking. Anyway, not the point. So I bred that litter, and I'll show them to you on Saturday in my weekly roundup. But I bred that litter specifically to sell because people wanted that cross so badly. And it's a beautiful cross. I mean, she's the result of that cross, and she is a very beautiful rabbit. Look at how gorgeous that is with her pure white ears. Oh, I love it. So people really wanted more of those babies, so that's what I did. So you might end up breeding a specific litter as pets. Now, when you do this, you end up selling them direct from your farm, and you're able to give lifetime support to the buyers, so people who take a bunny home know they can call you with questions or concerns at any time. You can offer a take-back guarantee, meaning you don't necessarily give back the money, but if in a year or 2 they can't keep the rabbit for whatever reason, you'll take that rabbit back, because that is something a good breeder would offer. What you don't want to do is sell your rabbits to pet stores. I know it seems like an easy way to unload some rabbits, but don't do it. At pet stores, the bunnies and the guinea pigs and the birds and stuff are products. They're not necessarily treated the way living creatures should be treated. And they are living creatures. They deserve love. They deserve care. They deserve somebody who's going to look after them for their entire life. Okay? They don't deserve to be treated like an afterthought. And if you're lucky, you're in an area where pet stores no longer sell live animals anyway. They are just pet supply stores. Maybe they sell fish. If you're lucky. If you're not lucky, they still have things like rabbits and guinea pigs, maybe even cats and dogs, which I wish they didn't. But don't sell your rabbits to a pet store. Okay? It's not a good life for them. The people who are buying those rabbits aren't receiving good information. They're being sold these little rabbit cages to lock their bunnies in, and you don't want that as a life for the rabbits you breed. Remember, you have a responsibility to see to the well-being of the creatures you bring into this world. So if you bred that litter, you're responsible for that litter. So if you are going to sell rabbits as pets, and I sell the ones that don't meet my standard and aren't necessarily show quality. So if they're not something I would consider keeping, then maybe I'll sell them to another breeder who wants them for breeding, or maybe they're a show quality rabbit and I sell them to someone who's going to show them. If they don't meet that standard, they are sold as pets. But it is my job to make sure that those animals that are sold as pets still have a comfortable, wonderful life, and that I'm not selling them to uneducated people or people who are mean-spirited or people who are going to hurt them. Because you definitely are responsible. I brought her into this world. I brought Celeste into this world. I put her parents together. I let them have babies. I am responsible for her life. So whether I am keeping her or whether I am selling her, and I'm definitely keeping her, but no matter whether I keep or sell her, I'm responsible for her. It is my job to make sure she has a really good life. And that goes for every single rabbit I breed. So breeding and tossing a whole bunch of rabbits out there as pets is not in your best interest, and it's not in their best interest. I'm not saying you can't breed for pets. I have sold some really lovely pet rabbits. Look at those eyes. But I have sold some really lovely pet rabbits, especially in the last couple years as I've been working on refining my breeding program. But if that is your primary focus, if you're just in it to make a quick buck, you are doing a disservice to the rabbits you are breeding. So make sure that you are being responsible when you are breeding. Make sure you have a plan for those babies so you don't get overwhelmed and so you don't end up trying to sell them at a pet store and hoping for the best, because that never works out. Anyway, that's it for us today at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.